Hey guys, it's Miki. Can you hear me in here? Well, I am just coming by for a little bit tonight. Let's see, in less than 48 hours, I'll be doing a class that's called 5 Ways to Increase Your Salon Sales Without Double Booking and without raising your prices as well. So I'm not sure if you've heard about it or not, but I definitely am inviting you to come and check it out. It's not for everyone, but only for people who really want to make a change when they go back or as they go back. And I think that's Shalonda. Hi, welcome. I'm sitting here, don't have my glasses on, so I hope I can see names and all of that kind of good stuff. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to share some things, that I'm seeing, like, obviously wearing masks and PPE and all that good stuff. Is that Sherry? Hey, hi Dee. Welcome everybody. Glad you guys are joining me. I wanted to share a few things that I'm seeing that definitely, things that we were doing before. Some were working, some weren't working so well, but we were doing them nonetheless. And how do we move forward? What do we do now? So a few things that I wanted to go over are what I call holding clients hostage. I don't know if you guys ever heard this before, but people, one, I guess you could say, business model was bringing people into the salon kind of all at the same time, getting them all wet, maybe shampooed and maybe put some conditioner or something like that, and leaving them all sitting around until you could get ready to finish them. And I think that's an awful way to run a business. I always have. And we can no longer do that. So thank God for that. But we can no longer have people who are, just there sitting around. It never made sense because, the way I look at it is like we get paid when the clients leave. So why would we want to keep them there hostage? We want to get them in, get them out, and get them moving. So that's one of the things that we can no longer do. Obviously, we can only have like one person in per stylist. So we can't line them up. We can't have them stacked up under the dryer. It's even questionable, it's like if you work with an assistant, how do you work with that assistant? That's an extra body in there, depending on the size of the space that you're in. So there's so many things to consider, as we move into post-COVID and how do we operate our businesses. So the second thing that came to mind as far as one of the things that we used to do that we can no longer do is running late. And that's running late on your end as a stylist or running late from the client's perspective, because absolutely every hour that we're in there, every minute in there, we really have to be conscious of that time because we can only work on one person at a time. And we have to take the time in between clients to do our, our full sanitation, really almost sterilization of making sure that basically the entire salon is back, wiped down completely. So, hi, Chiku. I see you there. You guys, thanks for the love. I appreciate it. And is it Belkis? I see you. But with our time, it's like we've got to get better with our time. It's like as a profession, we have not done so great. I'm sure you guys on the call, on this, live are good at it, but it's like we've got to spread the word and kind of get things out there. And wiping everything down, it's like it'll take us longer when we get started. Things like wearing the mask will take some time to get used to, but we really need to be, booking a little less than we were because of the way that the restrictions are. And I see LaDonna on there, and hey, so definitely things have changed. And so even with, with me in the salon before, I call it, kind of run and gun. It's like next. And especially if I'm working with an assistant, it's just, bring the next person. Of course, you do, a little wipe down, a little clean up, that type of thing. But now we got to go hard with it. So that changes the game considerably. So nobody sitting under the dryer, nobody being held hostage. Nobody can be late. And so we really have to get some things in place for what happens if the clients are running late and what happens if we are running late. It's like they typically can't come into the salon. I think most of the states have it that there's not to be a waiting area, or if there is a waiting area, that it's really small, and ideally it has, things like plastic or something that can be wiped down rather than fabric. which can't be sanitized well. So, a lot of things to think about. And, rescheduling, rethinking of how we run our business. How do we make it work for us? It's actually why I put together the class that I'm doing, the 5 ways to increase your salon sales without double booking or raising your prices, because we've got to have some new business models in place, and we've got to do some things differently than we've done. And different is change, and we resist change as human beings, but the only way we can grow is to change, and the only thing that's constant is change. And so we really have to prepare ourselves for, hey, this is a new day as we go back into what we're going to be running, and it has to be a business. We have to look at it differently. Some of the ways that we should have looked at it before, but we may not have. But it is a business, and, it's like we're not necessarily there to be liked. Of course, we like and hopefully enjoy our clients. But there's some things that may shift and change for them as well. And also, from their perspective as well. Some of your clients are anxious to get back in there and sit in your chair, and they can't wait. They don't know. They don't care, what's going on. They don't care how much it costs. It's like they just want to get their hair done. And then there's some who are still hesitant to come out. Just talked to one of my former clients, and she's like, I'm not quite ready to go. And she loves getting her hair done. So I do understand like both sides of it. And it looks like Sharmella, hey there. And I'm trying to read Belkis here. I was told they'll only allow 1 client per every 2 hours. Is this true? It really depends on your state. You have to read your state guidelines because each state is very different. North Carolina is just opening back up. Last Friday at 5 was when the stylists could go back, and they could go back 50%. So kind of whatever that means, but it still had to be social distancing. So if you were doing, I know stylists that would do 10, 15 clients a day easily. Doing 7 a day is probably still not going to work. If you think about 15, if you think about having that 50% of that is probably still not going to work. And so you've really got to figure out, how much space do you have? Some places are bigger than others, and it's easier to social distance. Some places are smaller than others. A lot of us work in suites, and some of us have assistants that work in the suites with us. So that's already 2 bodies. And then you add a client, it's like you're starting to get a little tight in there, depending on obviously the size of it. So it looks like, hey Pat, how you doing? Welcome. It looks like, definitely check with your state, because I think North Carolina is actually a little bit loose for me, but I think Georgia probably has the strictest that I've heard as far as, the equipment and all of that needs to be done. So yeah, definitely check out your state, because they vary like quite a bit actually. So, the other thing that we can't afford to do any longer is not realize if we're profitable or not. And we've got to make it so that our salons are profitable, so that our salon business is profitable. You guys have heard the term before. It's like only the strong survive. And this pandemic, this thing is going to weed out some folks. It already has, unfortunately, where salons may be closing, may not be reopening as the time comes. Because it's just, the operating cost and not having, a lot of us, have been skating by, to be honest. It's like we've had some clients, a busy week here and a not so busy week there. And we've got to make it so that we have consistent income. We've got to make it so that our income exceeds what we need to take care of the expenses for the salon and our expenses for home, and be able to have some money put aside so that we can put aside for savings. Because a lot of us were absolutely not prepared for, what we saw happen with the shutdown. And, there's lots of businesses. I say there's no shame in not being prepared, but it's like we want to learn, we want to grow, we want to do something different, and take this time as our do-over to do, something different, so we can put aside something for what happens if we do have another shutdown? What happens if there's just something regular that doesn't pertain to COVID? It doesn't pertain to anybody else's economy but your own. It's like I've already gone through, lots of different financial situations through the years, and some of it, lined up with stuff that was going on in the rest of the world, and some of it didn't. And so it's just a matter of, how can we kind of best set ourselves up for success so that we are cool. You say, Lord have mercy. I understand. I'm with you 100%. I hope that we don't have another surge or anything, and that we don't have to have any other shutdowns, because this was enough. But, it's like we're not in charge of that. So we don't know what hey, Kendra, welcome. We don't know what it will look like as the world opens back up. And we've already seen a lot of folks were having a really good time hanging out together during Memorial Day weekend. So, there's no telling. It's like the only time will tell, but it's like the best we can do is kind of get ourselves in position so that we're in better shape than potentially we were last time. So just in case, I used to teach relaxer classes, and, we use the analogy. It's like you put your seatbelt on in the car, not because you're expecting to have an accident, but just in case. And that's exactly what we want to do, is set ourselves up for, whatever comes along. And it may be an opportunity. It may be an opportunity to expand into a salon space that you always wanted, because the owner, decided that it wasn't going to work for them any longer. And all you need is a few $1,000s to get set up or get started or get that to the landlord, or maybe it's more than that, whatever it is. But it's like we want to be prepared for opportunities, as well as, if we need to take care of ourselves for a little while the world straightens itself out. So the last thing I want to talk about is double booking. It's like, how many of you guys were double booking? If you put like a 1 in the comment sections, if you were double booking. And it's a common practice, and it works. Hey, Shay, welcome. Double booking has worked for many years, and it hasn't worked for many years for some people. But, it's like if you have a color processing for 35, 40 minutes, and why not squeeze in a haircut, instead of sitting there. People work with assistants. I've worked with assistants through the years. It definitely keeps you flowing, where one person's at the shampoo bowl, one person's under the dryer, one person's in my chair, and we're, rocking and rolling. But we can't operate like that anymore. And so what do we do? How can we function, and how can we still make the same type of income that we've been used to, that we need, and not only need to, to be able to move forward as far as, taking care of, like I said, being able to cover our salon expenses, being able to cover our home expenses. But some of us, it's like we have a hole from being off for 2 months, or, or whatever the time frame may have been for you. So we've got to, look at life, our career, and our business differently. So the double booking, those days are gone, at least for the foreseeable future. So, with that being said, again, I'm hosting a class. It is 5 ways to increase your salon sales. Number 1, because we need to go back, and we need to go back stronger. I'm actually part of a group that is in the formation stages, so nothing's, fully been released, but it's led by, I'd say, one of the highest paid hairstylists in the country. And his, perspective is that this is the perfect opportunity for us to raise our prices by 20%. And I think, for some people that can work out perfectly. For others, depending on where you are in the country, who your clientele is and all of that, that may or may not be feasible. And, it's like on first glance and first hearing, it could be like 20%, it's like I'm going to lose all my clients, but not necessarily so. It's like we have to actually look at the numbers and see what that looks like. And we also have to, like I said, make some shifts, not only in our business and in our careers and how we're running our lives, but in our minds. How do we make that shift to, it's like, wow, it's like, what if my business did, if I did increase my prices by 20%, what would happen? And not in a doomsday way, but what could happen in a really positive way. And it really is about being professional, about seeing ourselves as professionals so that others can see us as professionals as well. And so, with that in mind, it's like, I'm not necessarily all about raising your prices right now, but I think we do have to work a lot smarter than we've been working. How many of you guys have gone home from the salon, like, about to keel over because you've been there from sun up to sundown and past sundown? My friends used to joke, it's like, if you got out early and the sun was still up, it's like the car might not even start because it was just, not used to going home that early. But if we are working, from early morning and we're working late in the day, and I meet with a lot of people, and when we start looking at the numbers, it's like, do you know how much you're making per hour? Because we're not necessarily busy all of that time. And for the ones of us who are busy, it's like I know, like I said, stylists who do 10, 15 people a day regularly, that's a long day. And I also know one of the stylists is like I coach them and their salon team, and she's in the 15 people a day, short week, several days, 3-4 days a week, but 15 or so, maybe plus clients a day, and was very, very, very concerned about going back and what that would do to her income. And she is happy to report that she's actually doing the same money with many fewer clients. And what it's done for the salon is made it a more relaxed day. And they're still making money and still taking even better care of their clients than they were before. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Dwayne. Welcome. And so it's quite possible, which is, some of the things that I want to share, some of the things that they're doing that are working. It's like we, have been working together and kind of setting things up for success for a little while, but I want to share some of the things that are working going back, because like I said, the things that worked yesterday won't work tomorrow, a lot of them. And some of the things that we had going on yesterday weren't really working that well yesterday either. So it's time to make a shift. And, it's like if you're up for it and ready to really, kind of take your business to a whole nother level, to really start seeing, I don't know how many of you guys saw during this time that you kind of enjoyed being off a little bit. I don't know if there's anyone out there. I've talked to a couple of friends of mine who slept most of the time just because they were so exhausted. And hi, Gia, welcome. And so, it's like we've been, race, 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 go, go, go. Got to do this client, got to squeeze this one in. And maybe we don't. Maybe there's another way. And so that's what I want to share with you, is some other ways that we can look at our business, that we can look at our life, because our business shouldn't be our life. It should be the other way around, that our business is a complement to our life. And so let's, kind of take a look at that and see what that can look like for your life. The class is going to be a little bit more of like a workshop, actually. It's like you'll be doing a little bit of work on your own business so that you actually leave with something that's personalized, that's for you, that gives you a game plan to work and operate from, once you leave the class. So if you're interested, I'm going to leave the link below, but you can see it on beautysuperstars.com. It's like I've got a new updated website, so I'm really excited about that. I'm blogging, so the blog is on there as well. You can sign up to get notified when I release the blog contents. And there's some good stuff on there already. One with our mental health, that I can't get out of bed, not because I'm tired, but because I just can't take everything that's going on, and that's very real. There's one of an interview that I did with a really successful salon owner that I have known for years. Bruce Johnson has an Aveda salon, a commission-based salon team, and has been a spectacular leader all these years. And it's really about, how do you lead a team through a storm? It's like, that's really the test. We can all be great leaders when things are going well, but when the bottom falls out and you don't even know where the bottom is or how to get, to the paddle, how do you lead your team then? And so he shares some really great insights. So that's on there. And coming up, I saw LaDonna's on tonight. It's like we're going to have her interview. She and I did a great meeting where we talked about marketing and what that looks like, as far as really kind of tuning into the people that you want to work with. And how do you attract them? And how do you attract the people who want to, spend your prices and get the services that you want? So definitely keep, sign up for that. The blog, it's on beautysuperstars.com under the blog. And you'll be notified when I post. And there's also some information about the class that's coming up. So I'm super excited about it. It'll be Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern time. It will be on Zoom. It'll be a webinar, and there'll be, handouts that you can fill out and kind of go along as we go and participate with it. So I will cover 5 ways that we can really, boost our salon sales, because that's what we need to do as we're getting back in there to play catch up, and to also get back on track and to set a new business model for the way that we're going to go forward in this industry without wearing our bodies out and without, doing so much squeezing, because, it's like we're looking at, for some of us, we had so many clients and now we're trying to squeeze them into so little space. And, that square peg will not fit in that round hole. We've got to do something a little different. So I'm grateful you guys are with me tonight. And I definitely look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday if it feels like it's a good fit. If there's anyone else that to please invite them to, to this group, to beautysuperstars.com. Now that's the website, Beauty Superstars Facebook group, but you can invite them to the website as well. And also, it's like I am going to do, I've been thinking about it, and I haven't really put it out there that I was thinking about it, but I've been seeing some posts on some of the groups, I guess you could say, where they're posting different questions. And one of the things that's come up kind of again and again is how to cover stubborn gray hair. And I know some techniques that really work well, and I don't hear anybody really talking about them. So I'm thinking about doing a little mini class on covering stubborn gray hair. So what do you guys think? Would that be something you'd be interested in? Is that anything that gives you trouble, or is that something, you kind of got it down? So let me know in the comments. And if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them since we're all here together. But if not, it's like I'm going to keep this short and sweet. So if you have any questions, put them down below, and I will wait around for a few minutes. I'm going to put the link below, or as I said, you can visit beautysuperstars.com to be able to sign up for the class. And I didn't mention, but it's only $25 for the first 100 people. So the seats or reservations have been going pretty quickly. So, don't delay. If it's something that you think that you're interested in, go ahead and get signed up. And we will meet on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, and Lauren said she'd like something about the gray coverage. And it's not something I usually promote, but I've been a hairstylist for quite a few years and learned quite a bit through the years. And I also used to teach. A lot of you guys probably have no idea, but I used to teach hairstyling, the cutting, the coloring, the finishing, as it was called, Fabulous Finishes, which was a systematic approach to hair design. And I haven't taught all of those things in a while, but it's like when I see people struggling with something, it's like, let me just jump in and kind of see if I might be able to help a little bit. So thank you guys for joining me this evening. I hope that this is giving you a little food for thought. If there's anything that you feel like you got out of this, you can drop it below and just let me know. It's like I always love to know what your takeaways were, and always ask to be a channel and hope and pray that I am able to leave you with something good, something that helps you think a little bit differently or act a little bit differently and put some dollars and cents in your pocket. So you guys have a great evening. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.